From Lalate News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings Lalate.
Thursday, March 4th, 2021, and it's Mornings Lalate. The vote on your $1,400 third stimulus check bill is as early as today. The bill could become a law and signed by the president this week. The excitement for the third stimulus check grows as unemployment numbers are released before sunrise today. Treasury yields are flat. Tech stocks are all over the place. This now sets in place a path to get your $1,400 stimulus check in your bank account as early as the end of this week. A nation awaits the third stimulus check, and its arrival could start as early as the end of this week. We have all the incredible great news as the first hour of Mornings Lalate starts right now. Good morning, it's Lalate. Apple is now trading at a 27 multiple instead of 34. As the Dow is now up, NASDAQ is up after the NASDAQ was down 168 points just about a half an hour ago. It's reverse course, now up. Microsoft was down to 226 at one point, Walmart up $1. Tesla faded 30 points, down 622. Its worst drop, now down $200 since 1228, and its next resistance is 499. But what's happening in the Senate? The vote is as early as today. The vote will be called for your $1,400 third stimulus check today. The Senate kicks off debate on the House bill right today, and Senator Ron Johnson is playing some games. He is playing some games. The Republican says that his plan is to call the Senate clerk to read all 500 pages of your $1,400 third stimulus check bill into the record to just take up time. And it could take 4 to 5 hours to read 500 pages of the document. This is sort of exemplary of what Ron Johnson has done, just waste people's time. The Republicans are set to use up 20 hours of the debate time and are set to introduce countless amendments just to waste people's time. But the so-called vote-a-rama will begin as early as today and continue into tomorrow. The vote will pass, and then it's off to the president's table to sign. It's just an extra few hours being delayed by a man who doesn't want to give you a stimulus check, who won't be able to block it. Meantime, great news is Lisa Murkowski, the Republican out of Alaska, has not decided whether she'll support the bill. And there's new indications that she may be one of several GOP leaders that will vote in favor of the bill today and tomorrow. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Mornings Lalate. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here. And the great, incredible news across the board is not one, not three, not four, but maybe 5 great news stories are happening this morning. 1, your $1,400 third stimulus check bill will be called for a vote today and tomorrow. Ron Johnson wants to delay it. God bless him. He wants to be the way he is. Well, it's not going to block your bill. It'll just delay it a few more hours. And so the vote will start today and will continue tomorrow. And then we got a law. Number 2, all moderate Democrats are on board and have voiced their opinion of support. There will not only be 50 votes in favor of the bill, all 50 Democrats, and with a tie-breaking vote from VP Harris, but we may even have some Republicans. There's new indication that some Republicans may even jump ship and vote in favor of the bill. Remember, you only need all 50 Democrats. You may actually get 51, 52 people voting in favor of it, 52, 53. Then, yesterday, we saw the incredible great news of a demand from moderate Democrats that says we're going to vote in favor of this bill today, but when you produce us the 4th stimulus check bill, the reopening bill, then guess what? All 11 of 50 Democrats to start, could be more, are demanding reoccurring stimulus checks every month until the pandemic's over. and at least passed that. This is news as unemployment numbers are out this morning. I'll have all that details as more. Unemployment numbers gauge your fourth stimulus package. And then at the top of the hour, in 1 hour, at 10 o'clock, I'm back live with you again. We got 4 shows on Mornings Lalate. That's the third show with this person, Elizabeth Warren. She has now introduced to the Senate a standalone bill that will fund your $200 a month of SSI and SSDI, Social Security and Railroad benefits. Yes, exciting news. The passage of the bill, the $14 third stimulus check bill, starting today and finishing tomorrow, and the becoming law. Number 2, landing in your bank account shortly thereafter. It only takes about 3 days for people to start receiving the money after it becomes law. The vote in the House would be nearly the same day as the Senate passes it, and the President the same day as well. Second, reoccurring stimulus checks under a fourth stimulus package. Thank you, Alicia, for the massive super chat. Dancing pear alert. And then finally, third, the incredible great news of a standalone bill that would fund the $200 a month SSI and SSDI has already been introduced. It's called the wealth tax. If you're just joining me, this is the new Lalate. It's been a hit. It has absolutely gone through the roof. The last 3 days have been our biggest numbers in 3 weeks. If you've not subscribed, today is the day to subscribe. Why? Because you're delivered news 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but 6 hours of live programming starting right now. It starts with 2 hours of Morning Lalate, 2 hours of home, and 2 hours of afternoons. Today we'll have a full schedule. There's a side-alone show for almost everything you want to know about. There's a business grant show. There's an SSI show. There is a Senate show, and there's a show about Wall Street and your stimulus. There's a show about literally everything you need on this channel. But the big updates are always at the top of the hour with headline news about your stimulus. 9, 10, 11 continues. This show is followed in 30 minutes with Purple. It's back in 30 minutes at 9:30 on the West Coast, 12:30 on the East Coast. Then at the top of the hour at 10 o'clock a.m., which is 1 o'clock on the East Coast, is that big development from Senator Warren that impacts your SSI and SSDI. So hit that subscribe button right now. Yesterday was our best subscriber growth number in a few months. So come on in. Be part of this family. If you want to become a member, then the member link is in the pinned comment and also at the top of the chat. Members got a special PDF this morning that was released by SBA last night. It concerns funding of PPP loan increases for independent contractors. You see how much detail we go into this channel. This is a change of policy document, so if it's for you, read it. Oh my goodness. Let's get to the exciting news across the board. And there's so much love in the family. Let me see in the room as well. There's Lori, and there's Carrie, and there's Alicia. Thank you so much, sweetheart, for all you do. You're amazing. I appreciate that, Alicia. And there's Liza, and there's Diana, there's Alice, and there's Anna. There's Beverly. How are you? And there's a super chat from Dory. Thank you, Dory, for the super chat. It's a big day. I'm so excited for everyone that's in the room. There's Marie, and there's Sherry, there's Patty Scott, and there's Roy Miller. How are you, Roy? There's Sandy, and there's Joyce, and there's Susie Hampton, and there's Stacy. Seeing if I missed anyone else. And there we are. There's Jeffrey and Abby and Jana. Well, what a day it is. Ron Johnson thinks he wants to have some fun. Well, let Ron Johnson have some fun. Who's Ron Johnson? He's a Republican. He's the Republican who wouldn't acknowledge that President Biden was the president nearly 2 months later. Ron Johnson is the man who trended on Twitter in December when he said he was going to try to block your $600 stimulus check. Troy, thank you for the dancing pear. Ron Johnson is not a popular figure. He's sort of like the ice cream at the casino that's $16 a pint. Yeah, he's just not particularly popular. And so he plays into his unpopularity. And so what is he doing today? He wants to delay the vote by asking the Senate clerk, not a senator, but the clerk of the Senate, the U.S. Senate, To read 500 pages of the bill into the record, let's just say if you're going to read Ron Johnson's popularity list into the record, it would take about a minute. Yeah, that's how we play on this channel. That's how we play. So that's what Ron Johnson wants to do. And then after that, the Republicans will be introducing, an amendment for introducing an amendment for lobsters, an amendment for anything that lobster dances, lobster musicals, just to take up time. That's the best they can do is take up time. Just sort of remember that in the back of your brain when you get that $14 stimulus check. There's Katrina. Just remember there was someone who wanted to delay it one extra day. Just remember that. It doesn't affect your it doesn't affect your receipt of the stimulus check. It's going to become law by the end of this week. Congratulations. You're getting a $1,400 stimulus check. There's Cheryl. There's Jacqueline. There's Zena. There's Arunza. There's Carol. There's Sandy. I see your comments about Ron Johnson, some of which I can't say on air. Some of them I can't say on air. Melissa Murkowski is a surprise. There may be Republicans in favor of this bill. You remember, all you need is all 50 Democrats, and we have all 50 Democrats. 50 Democrats makes it a tie, and then the tiebreaker is this person, your VP Harris. From California, yes. From California, she's your tie-breaking vote, but they may have actually more extra votes. And that came as the great, incredible news, if you did not see it yesterday, which was the president made a strategic move and got moderate Democrats to say, we got you, we got your vote for you, if you reduce the phase out. Thank you, Vivian, and thank you, Jean, for the super chats. If you reduce the phase out. What's the phase out? It doesn't concern you. It doesn't really concern you, but let me just tell you what generally it is. The stimulus check is for individuals who make less than $75,000. That's you. So $14 for individual, $14 for adult dependents, $14 for children, not taken out for back taxes, not taken out for debt collection, not taken out for child support. If you made less than $75,000, pretty easy. This bill, same thing. So what they change? If it's the same thing, what they change? They change the high end. The check would normally phase out, meaning go to zero, for people who made $100,000. Meaning, if you made $99,000 last year, under the second stimulus check, you would still get something like $100 or $20 or $30. That was how this was going to be. $99,000, you still get a stimulus check. $100,000, bam, you don't. The moderate Democrats said, let's reduce that number. The president said, sure, done. The reason I bring this up to you is we got all the votes. We got the votes. We got the votes. We got a bill. We got a law. We got the votes. We're done. Yeah, Ron, just have your fun, and we'll touch base with you later the day after you finish reading the bill and wasting everyone's time. So great news. I mean, this is all really exciting news. Meantime, Wall Street awoke to really interesting data today. Today will feature Jerome Powell, your Federal Reserve chair. Here he is. He will be speaking at the Wall Street Journal Summit about the economy today. Job numbers are out. Treasury yields are flat. The 10-year benchmark Treasury yield is flat at 1.6. That's good. That's good for you. That means stable economy. Last week it was out of control at 1.6. Today it's 1.4. There's a broad recovery of stocks today. That's good. Everything is positive. It's good news today. Reopening stocks like Target, Kohl's doing well. Tech stocks are rebounding. And then what about economic growth numbers? Well, our strategy work suggests that robust economic growth this year with a moderate increase in inflation, says Scott Wren, senior global economy strategist at Wells Fargo. In an attempt to read the tea leaves, our opinion reflects the market belief that growth and inflation should continue to move back. Basically, the country is moving well. We're not out of control. We're not hyperinflation. Everything looks good. Keith Lerner, Trust Chief Market Strategist, wrote in a letter obtained by LA Today, our micro team sees this economy as spring-loaded, meaning spending should increase, and we should see growth later this year, the best in over 35 years. So what were those job numbers today? What were the job numbers? Remember, there's 3 job numbers every Thursday, and those job numbers impact your 4th stimulus package. Why? The next stimulus package, and possibly the 5th stimulus package, looks at, are people getting jobs? Are jobs back? You lost a job. Do you have a full-time job back? So every week there are 3 numbers released. The new jobless claims, meaning people who newly became unemployed. That's the major number that people talk about. But the other two numbers are the ones that the White House, the Treasury, myself, and you and I talk about. That's how many people are long-term unemployed, or at least continuing unemployed, meaning they're at least unemployed last week and they're still unemployed this week. That number came out today. It was not improving. Not improving, really. It was, first-time claims were 750,000 this week, up from 736,000 last week, but below what Wall Street's estimate was going to be. Continuing claims improved just about 124,000 to 4.3. Long-term unemployment claims are at 18 million. So numbers are not particularly great. I mean, they're slightly improving, but they're improving very, very, very slowly. And what does this mean for you? It means that you're going to have a 4th stimulus check package. Now, that 4th stimulus check package is, hey, Vivian, thank you for the dancing bear. That 4th stimulus check package, you got to think about now. Why? Because they do it about 2 months ahead of time. They don't do it when it's ready to go. They do it 2 months ahead of time. So when is 2 months ahead of time? That 2 months ahead of time depended on the vaccination numbers. The president thought that the 4th stimulus package would be ready for a vote in July, because that's when the vast majority of the country was supposed to be vaccinated by. July, pretty easy. It was easy until this week, when the president orchestrated a brilliant deal between Merck and Johnson & Johnson, the 2 pharmaceutical giants, where Merck would manufacture Johnson & Johnson's newly approved 1-shot vaccine. That allows people to get things done in 1 shot. They don't have to wait 28 days between shots. Translation? That announcement came with the president confirming that the entire country will be available for complete vaccination by the end of May. Thank you, Nanette Moss, for the super chat. The entire country will be vaccinated by the end of May if you wish to be vaccinated. This means your 4th stimulus package should not be July, but May. And that's why Bernie Sanders and 11 other Democrats this week said, you know what? You're working on that 4th stimulus package now because vaccination rates are rolling out faster. So get multiple stimulus checks in there. And as America looks to reopen across the country, what does that mean? It means that we expect a substantial rebound after a huge winter storm push calms down. So this reading suggests that layoffs are falling, says Ian Stephenson, head of economic research at Pantheon Macroeconomics. And he added, we expect the trend to fall as vaccination rates increase. He said, hey, Pamela, thank you for the super chat. That means that 4 stimulus is sooner than you thought ever. And that means we got more coming up right after this commercial break. Stay with me in just 60 seconds, more about the exciting news from Congress. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join Lalate Daily for the excitement of the new Lalate live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings Lalate at 9 a.m. Home Lalate returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons Lalate at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on Lalate.
Street. This is Lalate. From Wall Street to Main Street, this is Lalate.
The news continues with big excitement from Congress as Ron Johnson's efforts won't work. How are you? We're back. And thank you for the super chat someone just dropped during the commercial break. Your $1,400 third stimulus check will be called for a vote today in the Senate. It will pass tomorrow. It'll take a little bit more than today. Why? Because a series of Republicans think it's cute to introduce a series of amendments that will never pass. And Ron Johnson, who's a Republican, who certainly trended on Twitter in November for his antics, thinks it's cute to have the Senate clerk read a 500-page bill into the record to delay the vote and to take up time. That reading of a 500-page document will take 4 hours. Ultimately, we can wait 4 more hours to get our $14 stimulus check. The great news is you're getting it. Congratulations, you're getting your $14 third stimulus check. There is Sandra Pointer. How are you? Also in the $14 third stimulus check package is $3,600 for children who are less than 5 years of age. They'll actually get $5,000. They'll get a $1,400 stimulus check with you, and then they'll get $300 a month starting the month of July for 12 months. If your child is 17 to 6, they'll get $30,000 plus $1,400. That's $250 a month starting the month of July. Hazard pay individuals, $1,500 as a hazard pay worker if you made less than $25,000 during the pandemic. Money for rent, low income, middle class, also homeless people, people that are behind on rent. There is also mortgage assistance, meaning money to pay for your privately underwritten or publicly underwritten mortgage. What reminder I always tell the viewers, and I always leave a note to remind myself to tell you, is that the eviction moratorium and the mortgage forbearance executive order from this president expires in late March. I expect him to extend it, but I want you to stay with me and hit that subscribe button because you do not want that deadline to lapse. I want you to hit that subscribe button. Thank you, Chris, for the super chat. Thank you, Kelly, for the nice comments. And there is Sandra Poirier. Thank you for all the hard work. I've been with you since day one. And there's Lexington. Lexington 7. Thank you for all the hard work you do for us, LA. I love that you're tuning in, Lexington. And there's Neil, and there's Mike Laskin, there's David, and there's Colleen Jenkins, and there's Amy, Debbie, and Roy. Ruby, I'm so sorry. So what else is in that bill that becomes law? There is money for paid sick leave. You have to stay home because of the pandemic, $14 a week. And then there is business grants, 4 of them. Stay with me on that business show on our noontime block. We have a business lunch in which I go over business grants that are available now, business grants that are coming up. Thank you, Christian, for becoming a super chat. And then there is an extension of FPUC UI, PUA, PUC. FPUC is from March to August at $400 a week. One of the viewers wants me to remind you that Ron Wyden, who we think we have a picture of here. Where's Ron? He's somewhere in the mix here. Oh, there he is. Ron Wyden encourages people to go on his website and submit your comments. So if you want FPUC Retro, go on Ron Wyden, W-Y-D-E-N's website, and submit your support for FPUC Retro. There's Sherry Jones Tinger. Thank you, Sherry, becoming a new member. Everyone welcome Sherry to the family. So The push for FPC Retro, go to Ron Wyden's website. We've done really well. I mean, who would have thought that when this channel went live on Friday with this new format, in just a short period of time, we have SSI, SSDI, we have SS200, we have MSC, 2 of our 3 hashtag campaigns now getting movement, with SS200, that detail coming up at the top of the hour, and now the MSC. Let me go over that as well. What happened early this week was that the moderate Democrats, he's not particularly a Democrat, he's an independent, this is Bernie Sanders, but he wrote a letter with 10 others who are generally moderate Democrats. The president said, you know what, we'll give you support for this $1,400 third stimulus check bill, Mr. President, but when you come to us for the next one, when you come to us for the 4th stimulus package, well, guess what? We're going to ask for reoccurring stimulus checks. Hey, Crayola King, there's Dean, there's Lynn, there's Lisa, there's Christian, there's Dennis Hopper, Hape, and there's Ruby, and there is Beverly. VP Harris is the person who wrote the bill with him. He says we're going to demand reoccurring stimulus checks because this pandemic's far from over, and it is far from over. Just because you're vaccinated, just because the country is facing 100% vaccination availability by May, doesn't mean there's jobs. And if there's no jobs, you need stimulus. You need stimulus, as Sir Loin would say. Meantime, a big deal this morning announced by Square. Jack Dorsey's digital company is acquiring a majority stake in Tyndall, a company owned by Jay-Z. Jay-Z bought the company a few years ago. Elsewhere, car loans are surging. The average monthly payment for a new car is now approaching $600 a month, and that the average borrowing is $35,000 per car. This is much higher than the year before. Elsewhere, Tesla stocks are dumping. Millionaire investor Ron Barron sold 1.8 million shares of Tesla over the last 6 months. Tesla shares continue to fall. Tesla, I told you, broke a resistance level recently. It was down 30 points this morning to 622. It's now down 200 points since the first of this year. Its next resistance level is 499 from November. So if someone told you to buy Tesla in January, how wonderful it is, I think you should stop watching that person. So how are you? The toast is toast and the butter is buttering. We're at the bottom of the hour, and we're going to have big updates coming up next. The next video is purple. Not 5 days from now, not 5 weeks from now, not 5 months from now, but money right now. I'm so excited. There's Scott Behringer. If you want money right now, which I know you do, stay with me, because purple is coming up in 3 minutes. Just watch for the next feed. If you're a member or you're on the community page or you're a subscriber, you're on Twitter, you're going to see the next feed. Jump right in there. Coming up right after this is purple as Mornings LA continues.